We're here at the next. We do this again. I'm Wessel Simmons from Bitcoin Magazine now, and we're here with Tim Draper, the famous Tim Draper. How are you doing, Mr. Draper?
Doing great. This is an amazing conference. There's some real excitement about Bitcoin and the blockchain. Even your hat and my tie somehow match.
We connect. So actually, you did a talk, and actually the end of the talk was a song of 3 minutes, and people really liked it.
3 minutes. I told them backstage that I needed 2 minutes, so I'm sorry I went over, but 3 minutes. Yeah, it was fun.
Actually, you missed maybe an entertainment career.
Well, or maybe I got it.
True. So, I mean, Hard Fork Stage, one of the speakers, of course, you are very bullish on the Bitcoin. You still are?
Oh, absolutely. And I actually suspected more of a downturn in coins in general during this period because the excitement happened and now all those engineers are hard at work, and then maybe a couple of years down the road, then everybody's going to have 100 new uses for Bitcoin, and that's why I predicted that in 2022 it was going to be worth $250,000 per Bitcoin.
Wow. And you still think?
Yeah, I think the dollars will slowly be worth less, and Bitcoin will continue to be worth more.
Okay. So you're really confident with the upcoming of the Lightning Network that this will really, the Bitcoin will still pull it off as the number one coin.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, of course. The Lightning Network has speeded it up. And then there will be other technologies that come along, and Bitcoin will be able to assemble all of those. So they have a huge leader position. And it's a little like Microsoft when the internet came. It's like they had this perfect position. So if they saw some software that became valuable, like a database or a spreadsheet or a word processor, they would just incorporate it into Microsoft Office and just bring it along. Even though this other software was maybe better at that time, Microsoft would bring it in. And Bitcoin, the value of a coin is tied to the size of the network of the coin. So as more wallets come in, Bitcoin will continue to go up in value to the square. Actually, it squares. It goes up very significantly every time somebody joins onto the network.
All right.
Yeah. So I think that's really what will probably happen with Bitcoin. There will be other big winners. Like Microsoft was not the only big winner. Google and Facebook and Amazon, and they all became big winners. So in my prediction, I'm sort of thinking Bitcoin's maybe a 20%, 20% market share holder, but it'll end up being one of these big winners.
Okay. What's your thought on Ethereum? Are you also quite bullish on Ethereum? I mean, with the Casper update coming and lots of tokenization going on.
Sure, I think actually there's sort of a race on between Casper and Tezos as to who's coming out first, but and who's going to have the most support. Both are going to be great coins going forward, I think, and the Ethereum team is quite extraordinary, and as is the Tezos team and many other teams out there. So I'm not sure where the dynamics are going to be, who's going to be the big winners. Maybe the big winner hasn't even really started their business yet.
Actually, Mr. Draper, you're the third generation in venture capitalists. I think your grandfather was also a venture capitalist. Your father,
kids.
And your kids.
My
so
kids, my daughter, two of my sons. Yeah.
Right. So, what do you think of the future of venture capitalism in this new space? I mean, some people say, okay, companies can make their own money now with tokens. How do you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think that this is. It's a great alternative to venture capital to go out and do a token. And I think that they're two different things. Venture capital invests in a company, and so they're buying a piece as a shareholder of a company, and that company will share its future profits with you. When you buy a coin, you're betting on the spread of the coin. You're betting on the a different kind of a future that spreads around the world, a token that becomes valuable to someone. And you're not, this ICO flip thing, that's a temporary phenomena. Long term, it's going to be which coins do we really want to hold on our wallet, and which coins are we going to be able to buy Starbucks with. And I think, if I'm opening a Starbucks, the first thing I do is I say, okay, now I want to take crypto, and then I go through and I'd say, well, I'm definitely taking Bitcoin. Who else might I take? Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, maybe something else.
Litecoin.
Maybe, yeah. And, some of these
sorry.
others may not have a marketplace for them over time. It may be like you're trying to sell me some weird coin or whatever, and I look and I go, well, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking. You can give me 1 million weird coin. I'm not giving you a cup of coffee for it.
how many requests do you get per day or per week actually via email of ICOs?
I think today I'll probably see somewhere between 50 and 100.
Wow.
And most days that's about right, 50 to 100.
Do you have a team of people who actually select, or?
Well, I don't let them select so much as advise and bring the best of them to the surface, but I do look at every single email I get.
Serious?
I do, and so I look and I say, oh, is this something interesting? And I might write my team like, hey, spend some time, work on this.
Okay, cool. So actually, do you have? We don't have a globe, but of course you were one of the, or actually your father was one of the shareholders of Skype in a very early stage.
Yeah, I was the first one to write a term sheet to Skype. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So actually, do you have?
And I backed them later. I wrote the term sheet. Dad took the deal, and then we took the deal later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it worked out very well for all of us.
Yeah. Okay. So of course, so you must have like an instinct for what's going to be the Netscape, what's going to be the Google. I mean.
I would hope so. I spend most of my time thinking about the future. That's why I never watch the news, because I feel like they're just telling me what's happening right now. I'm always looking at what potentially could happen in 5, 10, 20, 50 years. Wow. I mean, I think we're going to be, flying a lot through space in 50 years. I hope I'm still alive in 50 years.
Yeah. We go to the moon. So actually, what are your expectations of this industry? Where will we be in the next 5 to 10 years? Actually, I mean, more applications, more decentralized apps, etc.
Well, I actually think that all government changes, because this generation here, they don't think in terms of these tribes and these artificial territorial borders.
True.
They are not thinking, let's attack them to take their land. They're thinking, those people, they're my friends, and I want to work with them, and we might be able to have some interesting trade together. And they're saying, and I'm not really that interested in a currency that's only tied to one geographic piece of land that can swing based on some political force, and I can lose my fortune tomorrow just because this king of some sort just wiped me out. Yeah. I mean, you could easily see like the president of China just going, okay, now we're going to have another currency and I own all of it, and too bad. And
like we've seen Argentina,
Nigeria, Venezuela. It happens a lot where the political forces totally mess up the free markets of the country. And so I actually think that people are going to be smarter the next time. And instead of having all Nigerian naira, they're going to have a bunch of Bitcoin. Instead of having Argentinian pesos, they're going to have a bunch of Bitcoin. So when their country does it again, they can just say, well, I've got plenty of money right here. And I don't have to start all over and have a horrible life for 5 years while I'm building it back up.
Peer-to-peer, decentralized. I think just a few more questions. What do you think will be the victims? I'm thinking of maybe the Western Union's MoneyGrams of this world. Or
Well, I never look at anyone as a victim. In fact, I kind of feel like the Western Unions are made up of people. Those people will probably have to reinvent themselves. And I think that's what people do. As businesses, you're always trying to make it better for your customer. So if all of these things are happening automatically, so you don't need to be the automaton anymore, now you can provide another service that's maybe more of an advanced service, and you don't have to do the mundane things anymore. So yeah, I know banks are, they're why we don't need banks to do transactions anymore, because they can all be done on the blockchain. So why do we have that trusted third party? Why don't they become more advisors to us, or financial vision people who kind of help us think about our retirement?
so will banks become smaller?
Well, the company that makes up a bank, each one of those will become whatever it becomes. I think that right now, they are losing customers because they're threatened by the crypto world. And they're trying to push it away, but their customers want crypto. And so that's a little bit of a problem. I think the best banks are going to be the ones who step forward and say, well, we take crypto and we take fiat, and we're going to provide all the services that you're used to getting here, and more, because all the movement of money is all automated now.
So you think the Coinbase of this world will be like the future banks, or we still need centralized power actually to facilitate this space?
Well, actually you don't, because if you take, Coinbase could be, that could look like a bank somewhere. But you take your ledger and you plug it in and you put your money down on it, you suddenly have it right here. You can do whatever you want with it. You don't need a centralized source. So you're holding it yourself. So it's decentralized. If everybody here had a ledger and they used it as their source of money, they don't actually need that centralized source.
And you can pay your beer or coffee with it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, you just plug in, it identifies you, you're done.
All right.
Yeah.
So are you more of a hodler, or are you also actually, of course, the whole company is like a big force. I mean, you bought, of course, from the U.S. Marshals a large portion of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It was a good deal, huh?
Well, it looks good right now, but it's going to look really good in 4 years if I'm right. Yeah.
You just hodl them, or?
Yeah. Well, I've lent them out. I've invested into companies with them, and I've hodled them. And I was selling an apartment recently, and I tried to get people to pay Bitcoin for it. And I didn't get, somebody spoke up at a very high price in fiat dollars, and we had to take that instead of waiting for somebody to say we'd do it in Bitcoin. Because I said, I'm going to give the Bitcoin person a premium.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But they didn't. So we've sold the house. But yeah, I take Bitcoin. We take it at Draper University. I take it if you want to buy my book. I take it if you want to rent space at Hero City. I take it if I take Bitcoin.
All right.
I take crypto.
Yeah. I mean, if I sell crypto, it really hurts, actually.
Yeah, because what you're doing is you're giving up your future for your past. It's like I'm going to go buy a bunch of buggy whips and give up my carburetor, for my car. I'm taking these horse whips, and I'm buying horse whips with the carburetor for my car, and it's just not a good trade. People are, and every time I think about it, I think, how can I get more fiat into crypto? How do I do that? And that's been my goal. I need enough fiat to pay my bills for a while, but as soon as people start taking crypto, I won't need it anymore.
Thank you very much, Mr. Draper, and all the best. All the best. Are you doing a European tour, or? You're back.
This is the last stop
Oh,
on
last
my
stop.
European tour.
Okay.
Yeah. Been to 4 countries. It's been wonderful. Place is hopping. Europe, pretty awesome.
Maybe better than California.
Hello, how are you?